Soy Podcast. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on this. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't meme on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Let's speak on it. Speak on it. You thought we were done? Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't mean on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't mean on this. Speak on it. Speak on it.
Soy. Yo, welcome back to Speak On It Podcast. It's your boy Maestro in the house, and we are back with another episode. I'm excited for this episode because I'm going to learn so much today. Yeah. So much today. And we have a great guest, Ms Tarsha, with us. But before we get to her, let's get to know how our week has been. So blessed, you keep correcting me. Blessed. How has your week been, bro?
Oh man, the week has been great. My whole week was focused on making sure my wife's pop-up shop was just smooth as possible.
Oh.
So I was just like promoting her, like making sure she got all her T's and I's crossed and dotted. And then we got to hang out a little quick, right after. And I knocked out on y'all boys. Sorry again. I don't know if y'all saw the message.
We saw the message.
We was on the three-way call, and I was
bro.
and it was quick. Mark said, "I'm gonna call Ori. I'm gonna get back on the line." I was gone within that whole minute.
I mean, to save you a little bit, I would say the hold was a little longer than expected.
Oh, it was? Okay, I blacked out.
I thought it was gonna be. This is behind the scene for y'all.
Okay.
We open. Speak
Yeah.
on it. I thought it was just a call from him. So we just started talking, like, because he was traveling, he just got back. I was like, yo, you back in town? Da, 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 da. My wife got into it. So at that point, basically, he was like, yo, I got to get Gibbs on the line. I was like, what? So he got back on the line, and we talking like you here, bro. Thinking back now, it's so funny, but I ain't going to carry on too long.
But the crazy
we
thing
asking you
is,
mad questions, bro.
I woke up, though, and I heard them talking, and then
You went back?
I went to go help my oldest daughter brush her teeth, and I put y'all on mute, and then my wife said, y'all on the phone? I said, yeah. She said, but you was sleeping. I said, yeah. And then
she's about as confused as you. She's like,
Oh Lord, that's behind the scenes, huh?
And then I unmuted y'all to get into the conversation, but I fell right back to sleep.
I heard the kids. I was like, he must be helping the kids, maybe bathing the kids, something with the kids. So we kept going. And then it was like, yeah, bro, like, you gonna say something now, bro? Like the whole time until the point where I think you finally hung up. And I told Mark, I think it's just us on the phone. So it was like, we'll just talk about it. But anywho, that's the little behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's the little behind the scenes.
that was good.
So let's find out how your week has been, leading up to this episode.
It's been great. Exhausting work. That's about it. Sleep. I have 2 doggies. Technically, they're like children. Everyone try to, bash me like they're not kids. Yes, they are. They take a lot of work. I had to bathe them. I brushed their teeth. Okay. It's a lot of work. But other than that, it was okay. Just exhausted preparing to come here with you guys. I was pretty excited. I'm like, oh, this is going to be lit. Because I see you guys just talk like you're just friends. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have more friends. So my week's been great leading into this. So
you got the family automatically.
Yes,
man.
sir.
In the Speak On
Whether
It family.
you say it or not, I was already okay. I know everyone's name by memory.
Yes.
Ori.
Hey.
That's good.
Yeah.
People don't usually get my name right. Yo.
See?
She got it. When I said it, she got it. I'm like, okay.
I mean, because she could read.
Yeah. Somebody did their job.
Challenge was accepted.
Yeah.
You say my name correct? I say yours.
Yeah.
That's it. The pressure was on. So, we're gonna get to know you a little bit more. Obviously for the audience, if not for ourselves. For me, a little bit. I'll be honest, but I know Blessed knows you. So if anything, you trying to not tell us the whole truth over here. You know, check you over here. Go check. I'm just kidding.
The cameras are on me and it's going to be viewed, so I can't lie because always that one person that knows you that's like, girl, you lying. It's like,
yep, fact check.
So,
fact check.
You get the truth.
Yeah,
the whole truth.
So before she go, definitely we go back like 9th grade. So we like, you know, 2 flats on the Cadillac.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
And the main specific classroom was Ms. Robinson. I'll never forget that. And
Cannot.
homie been dope since day one. She's always been about business, always doing her work. She had fun. She was never like uptight. Like, you know, those people, like, she was just friendly. Like, it's like whatever. She gonna get things done. She gonna talk to you. You address her. She's like, hey, how can I help? You know, it was never like, I'm too great. Don't talk to me. Like, she never gave you that energy. And even after the fact of high school, it's been years or whatever the case is. And I told you, I was like, oh, thank God you ain't weird. You know, because a lot of people we graduate from.
He said that, and I was like, well, dang, what do you consider weird? Because maybe I'm weird off the phone.
Oh, man. Like, a lot of people after high school just switched up. Like, I ain't know you from back then, or, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So Tarsha's been homie. She's been supportive, too, since get-go. Always, like, just kept the same nature. So the only thing that matured about her was the same thing she's already been. So it's like, dope. You know what I mean? Like, knowing the same person still. So that's my homie, y'all. But she's gonna tell y'all about herself and what she's been into.
Yeah. Everything he said is true, you know. One thing I like take pride on and that I like to say is that you never know who you can help, or you never know who you can inspire, pretty much. And if you kind of make your way to greatness and you kind of just, you know, turn your shoulder to people all the time, it's just going to show a lot about you and your character. And then you lose supporters that way because they see it as saying, like, you know, I know you've been through XYZ, but what did you do when you went through that? Like, I'm going through it. Like, how can you help me? And if you turn your shoulder on these people that need help, then you can't really contribute to more greatness in this world, you know? And everyone like to say, I want to be great and I want to help others, but they don't want to do the work that it requires to help others. So that's why I always like to keep my little bubbly personality. You know, I love to meet new people. I love to make them feel comfortable because when they see me, they just like, you know, she got her stuff together, but dang, can we talk to her? And it's like, yeah, come on. Hey, my name is Tarsha. What's your name? You know? And my sister says that to me all the time. Like, she called me weird. So that's what you said, you're not weird. I'm like, you sure about that? She called me weird. She's like, you're weird. Like, did you just really just walk up to that person? And I was like, yeah, they needed help. Hi, my name is Tarsha. You need help with something? Let me carry your bag for you. You know, like, it's just, you have to be like that because you never know, because a lot of people go through things and they don't express it, you know? And being that they don't express it, how you're going to know that they're going through unless you ask like, hey, you okay? Which I noticed that we do a lot. Yeah. We always like, hey, what's up? How, you know what? Before we talk business, how are you? How are you? You know, I'm about to say something and I'm about to drop a load, but before I drop it, how are you? You know, because I may give you something right now. You're probably going to be like, God damn, I'm going through so much, but shut up. Shut up. Don't talk about your stuff. That person needs you. And then, you know, who's helping you? You know, so, I do. I'm pretty big on that, you know, and I tend to not really get as much as support because I'm always that strong person. So, a lot of time people just be like, oh, you know, she good. You know, she done had so much thrown at her. Look at her. She's walking, you know? So it's like, they don't tend to ask, hey, are you okay? You know? And reality is, just to keep it 100% on this, and this is my first time saying I'm not okay, you know? And I had to learn that it's okay to say that you're not okay when you're dealing with so much trauma, you know, but we tend to kind of not want to deal with that trauma because we see that as, oh, okay, you know, it's people going through worse. Yeah, but we're not talking about everyone else. We're talking about you, you know? So I never really had that type of support that someone comes to me and say, hey, how you doing? So that's why when I speak to you or if I speak to your wife and we tend to kind of do the support thing and we're helping each other and it's genuine, it means a lot because it's kind of just like, I believe you when you say, hey, how are you doing? It's like, you really want to know. Yeah. And I'm about to tell you a whole bunch of crap because I can't really talk to people. But since this is genuine, I'm going to let you know, you know? So it's tough. This world is tough. And I've been through a lot. And I kind of get a lot of people that come to me to, you know, ask questions. Required of you. Yeah, and lean on me. And I'm okay with lending my shoulder. Even if you're a stranger, I've talked to a lot of strangers before online. And I'll follow up with them like, hey, how are you doing today? You know, you told me a lot. And I want to know, how's your mental, you know? And they're like, you know what? And it just made me feel good, you know, because it's like you're helping someone in the midst of you going through things. That takes a lot of strength. So
And
Pretty
just
good.
Soy Podcast.
definitely talking about helping someone. This is what this episode is specifically geared towards. This one, it's in the month of October, cancer awareness, and this is where we engaged into this conversation. The reason why we brought homie on for sure, and even prior to even getting to this, like she said, the first thing I like, hold on, before we get into all this, how you doing? Like for real. And
Okay.
and I have to add that emphasis for real, because people be like, oh, that's a cliche, and they be like, I'm good. No, like, can you expound? Like, are you really good? Because I'm here, because I won't even ask you if you can't handle it. And she was like, yeah, I'm ready. So we're cancer awareness, and my homie went on that side, and our gear of this conversation was to not only just talk to like a cancer survivor, but someone who had to experience someone close to them go through it. And this is why I reached out to my homie for that purpose and reason. You might tell the people who are the two people that went through it, so they can see like, wow, it's not even just this, it was that at the same time. And kind of
Of course, I would love to. The first person was my best friend. We've grown up since diapers. I've known her my whole life. She was diagnosed with melanoma skin cancer from a mole on her back that just kept growing from being exposed to the sun. And we were sun babies, so we were always out in the sun, and the sun was touching and didn't know anything about it because we're younger. We don't know about cancer. We don't know about, oh my gosh, I got a lot of moles and this mole could be cancers. You don't know that. So when it got massive and we realized, hey, let's go get it checked out. Her family got it checked out, and it turned out that it was skin cancer. And you know, it went away. But one thing with cancer, it tends to always come back. And it came back aggressively years later. And when it came back, she called me and she just like, the cancer's back. And at this time, I was moved over to Alabama with my mom. She told me to come up there, to fend for me while I go to college. And I was excited. And I go there and I get a call from my best friend, and she just like, I need you here. And I'm like, screw school, I'm there, and what I did when I got that phone call, when I got off that phone call, I literally opened my suitcase and I crawled in my suitcase and I covered it and just broke down. And, when I think about it now that I'm okay with talking about it, it was a fear of someone seeing me cry. It was a fear of my mom seeing me cry or my brother, because you're always this strong person. So I'm afraid to show weakness because I'm the one that they come to.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to stop coming to me because you want to handle me with care. It's just life. People go through things. I'm going to cry. But I didn't think people would receive that well because I never really cried in front of them. I always just took on stuff like, okay, I got you. What we got to do next, So I sat in that suitcase, I cried, and then I got out, wiped my tears, went downstairs, told my mom, and I'm like, I got to go. And during that time, I've noticed that when I would brush my mom's hair or do certain things for her, I noticed that, hair was falling out, and she had fibroids. And, when I go downstairs to tell her, she's sitting on the couch with my brother, and her stomach looked like she's pregnant with triplets, and she doesn't have kids, And I'm in the medical field at the time studying it, going to school in Alabama. And, I'm telling my sister, like, our mom has cancer, and it's not easy to say something like that, but it's a crazy world to study medicine that you're open to knowing certain signs.
Yeah.
So I tend to always call it, and I'm like, our mom has cancer, and I'm getting cursed out. Like, why would you say that? But I left to take care of my best friend. And the moment I made it back to Florida to care for her, I get a call within days from my mom. I've been diagnosed with cancer. So now I'm there like, so what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I stay or do I go back? Like, what am I going to do? And that had to been the scariest call of my life, because I'm like, oh my God, life is about to happen. And how you're going to take it? Are you going to fall apart? Are you going to keep it together? Or what are you going to do? So I was frantic and I just bawled in my car. I just sat in my car and I cried and I cried and I cried. I'm like, okay, Mom, well, I'm coming back to you. And she's like, no, I'm older. She's like, she's younger. She needs you. So I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm going to stay here. But what you're going to do, because I need you.
Yes.
So she was like, I'm just going to move back. And I'm like, okay.
And move back.
We're going to
to
move
Florida?
together. Yeah.
Oh,
She
okay.
decided, she's going to move back. We're going to move together. We're going to do it. And I'm like, great, So she moved back and I cared for my best friend. I was with her with all her appointments. And then the worst thing you could hear from the doctor is, oh, she has XYZ time, she's not going to make it to her birthday, and it's like, huh? So I was scared because her birthday was October 19th. And this was late August that they said that. And we're stepping into September. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And, as the days got closer and, to see her, I'm there with her at the hospital, I'm caring for her. I'm, spending nights there just to make sure she's okay. I had a time that even her tumors one time when I helped her use the restroom, her tumors like burst in my hands. Wow. And I'm holding her while she's using the restroom and it's like just blood, and it's the scariest thing. And I remember cursing the nurse out that day and I'm like, get the hell out of here because she's like, what are you doing? You don't have gloves. And I'm like, this is my best friend. What am I going to get from this tumor person? Or I have cancer now from the blood on my hands, So I told her to get out and I told her to give us a different nurse. But long story short, I was there with her throughout the time. She knew I wasn't strong enough for it. So she would always say, are you okay? And I'm like, you're in your bed. Like, don't ask me if I'm okay, But I have to be accepting of things. Like a lot of time we say, don't ask me this or don't tell me this when it's like, no, be okay with that person asking you that, you know? So with her asking me that, it's like, it's because she genuinely care, but you're fighting it because like, no, you're going through this. Don't dare ask me, But it's like, no, let them ask you that because it's okay for you to tell them how you feel and they're going to tell you how they feel, So that happened and I would just go outside the room and cry my eyes out so she don't see me crying. She knew every time I was crying. And then it got to the day of the priest came, we prayed, and she took her last breath September 8th, and which her anniversary just passed, which is always very hard for me, but this was September 8th of 2013. And it was very, very tough. And then to know that my mom has cancer now and you guys are within the same stages, it's scary. And then we had another friend who mom had lung cancer. So we called ourselves like a little triangle. We're like, dang, like, how do we support each other? These are my best friends and we're all here dealing with aggressive cancer, And I'm like, wow. So they told my mom she had a couple of months after my best friend, and she wound up giving us 5 more years, which is crazy. We cared for her. My brother changed her eating habits. Like, no, this is not going to happen. Yeah. We're going to get up and walk. Yeah. I'm taking everything out the fridge. And, it's crazy because what people don't know on the outside is that when you care for someone, everything about you has to change, So I was cutting my hair when her hair was falling out. I'm like, girl, what's hair? So I'm cutting it. She's like, my hair. And I'm like, girl, forget that hair, So, and then changing your habits. So I went vegan, I went vegetarian, I went pescatarian because it's like, if you got to eat this stuff, who am I to not eat it with you? We're going to do it together because that's how you show support. Yeah. And a lot of people feel like support is just saying, are you okay? Or what can I do? And it's like, no, you have to take that first initiative to show them that you're supporting because this is a tough time and you can never know what someone like that is going through, That's true. So I'm the type of person that's like, I have a huge heart. So it's like, I want to know what you're going through because I want to go through it with you, and you could be a stranger, but it's like, maybe you don't have that type of, help or support. So when it did happen, I'm like, okay, dang. And then my friend mom passed and then I'm here with my mom and she's here, that took a toll on me because it's like, dang, are you going to want to support me still? So I kind of closed in and went into this hole of just caring for my mom and not really letting people in because it's like, I didn't know how people were going to receive it because these people near and dear to me had people. And it's like, who is my mom to still be here? So it's like, I'm sitting here just like, dang, like, I don't want to ask you anything. I don't want to tell you to do anything for me because.
Would you say it's a form of, in a sense, of survivor guilt in your version?
That's deep. Survivor guilt. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Because I'm sad, and it's like, I feel guilty and it's kind of just like, why are you making yourself feel guilty for your mom? It's a blessing, but that goes for me caring, I'm caring and I'm just thinking of everyone else all in the midst of caring for myself, So, my mom wind up, going into the hospital and then it started going downhill after years and we knew it was coming. And it's crazy because I always knew when it was coming, So when I started seeing certain things, I'm like, yeah, y'all, this is a sign. And then I was in charge with my brother with making certain decisions, and it's like, I'm not even 30, it's like, how do you, and then I'm the youngest, so it's like, now you got to make decisions on big steps for your mom and you don't know, it could be the wrong decision, and they trusting in me because I'm studying medicine. Is kind of like, I do my research and it's traumatizing. And I know I'm not the only one that had to do that. I'm sure a lot of people who had people in their lives that had cancer, they had to make tough decisions that people don't even know. But the only thing that people see is they posted on social media that, hey, my cousin, sister, auntie is diagnosed with cancer. Okay, they're doing this treatment. Okay, they passed.
Yeah.
This is the date of the funeral.
Yeah.
And then all they see is the in memories every year of the anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get to see what really went down on the inside. And that's the hard part. So a lot of people come to me because they take it as, you know, dang, like we're looking through you through social media lenses.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, you look like the strongest person, you know?
Yeah.
Not knowing that after my mom passed, I fell into the worst deep depression ever. I told my friends I didn't want to be their friends no more.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed in my house. It was the darkest place I've ever been in. And I freaked out. And I will never go there again.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have support because I didn't allow it. You get me? And that's the problem with a lot of people. But I had friends that, you know, would come to my house and they left notes on my door, you know? And these notes I still have. I laminated and all. And they just like, you know, I know you don't want to answer the door, but we know you in there. But we just hope you're okay. We just want to let you know that we love you.
Yeah.
That took me a long way. That's what helped me get out of that black hole, you know? But people don't have that, you know? So it's a lot of people going through depression. They're in mental homes or, you know, they're going through a lot of stuff because they don't have that support, you know? So when people reach out to me, they tend to say, I don't want to ask this, but it's like, no, ask me. So when you reach out to me, like, you know, is it okay? And I'm like, hey, don't you dare treat me like I'm fragile. Yes, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it, you know? But to watch two people take their last breath, it's like unheard of, you know?
It is.
And it's back-to-back trauma.
It is.
Soy Podcast.
It's definitely, because my wife had to see it for the first time. It was maybe 3 years ago. It wasn't cancer involved. It just, his body just was giving up on him. And my wife never experienced death. Like she's, I think I told you over the phone, her family were anti-talk about death, the wills and funeral and all that. And my family were, since I was like 5, I've always knew what a will was, what insurance I got to call, all these things up. So I just been bred on that lifestyle. So I guess I'm in a sense used to it. So it's not like, but it's more like we need to know these things because when that time happened, you don't want to be fumbling, trying to figure out their password because these businesses are savage when you're trying to get your parents' information or all these or whatever. And if you don't have not one lick of it, and that's why a lot of Black families suffer from death because either insurance stuff wasn't in place or they don't know it. So they keep the money that could have fed the next generation and had them thriving or whatever the case. So I am big on will and all that. So, but that is traumatizing, seeing that last breath. When they get to a point where they can't speak no more, the speech is gone. All they can do is look at you, probably is shivering or whatever the case is. And you can see it in their eyes. And it's just like, it's about to be it. It's about to be it. And, you know, to this, it actually don't bother her as much now, but it used to. Like she'll just come and just hug me, and it just be a deep hug, no words, but I know what it's about right now. And so I told and for you to see two close loved ones, heart, you know what I mean, basically left, right side of the heart. I saw that whole phase, and I really didn't know how to reach out to you because I'm like, if I reach out, does it look weird? Because I wasn't like part of there. We were distant, but yet close. So I want to encourage other people because I love how people left notes for you. Like, just do something. Because, like, those notes were amazing. It helped you out. And it's like, I want to encourage people, if you feel that weird space, because I even think when you went through, I was like, bro, I don't know what to do right now. I feel weird, but I just want to let you know I'm here. That's what I told her. I'm like, I don't know the space, because you could try to do good and you end up doing bad. And then you try to do nothing. It's like, they're looking at you like, bro, you didn't even reach out. So I'm like in between these mental spaces. So I threw myself out there, but yet had a string to hold myself back. Like, hey, bro, I'm in a weird space, but if you need me, I'm here. And I just left it at that. And, you know, whenever the time came, he reached out. So I encourage people, man, if you know someone going through something and you don't know what to do, just do something so they can know, hey, you're there. And once they have the strength or they feel comfortable to reach out, you just wait on them. You know, that's what friendship's supposed to be. We're supposed to have the patience to wait on people, the understanding, because once I feel like like if going through your space, if I'm understanding, then I won't feel like it's nothing towards me. You know, some people feel like it's towards them and they just want to end the friendship. Oh, like, no, it has nothing to do with you. She's going through, or he's going through something that she or he don't even understand themselves. So just wait. You know what I'm saying?
Like that's what you said is deep. And to piggyback on that is a lot of people don't have that trait to understand that, you know? So a lot of time people take certain things offensive and not play into part that, dang, like maybe she responded this way because of she been through a lot, you know? So it's big that you said that, because a lot of people, they will take certain things offensively from people that has been through trauma. But sometimes when you go through so much trauma, you tend to kind of turn a little cold. You know, certain things that you would have really put more effort into, you don't no more. And that's just where I am, because I got tired of explaining myself. So when it got further with certain things and I have to explain like why I'm taking my time here, or maybe I don't want to respond to you right now. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm focusing on me, because I could mentally go insane right now with the amount of stuff that I've been through, you know? So sometimes you got to worry about yourself, because mentally you could really fall deep down trying to please others all the time, and you just can't do it. And it takes a long time to get to that realization sometimes for people, and it took me a long time. And I'm gonna admit it, like even with me getting to that point, I've lost a lot of people. Do I regret it? No. Because you don't know me if I lost you. You get me? I went through depression. I mean, I still battle it to this day. I go in and out, you know? So when you know someone of trauma, it's like, it's not being there for them for that year. Every year when it's an anniversary or something, that takes a different toll. That person could fall back into memory lane and fall right back into that hole. You get me? So understanding somebody that's been through trauma, that takes constant work. It's like a family. It's like having kids. It's like, you got to know that you got to be gentle with this person. You can't do certain things, or you got to be understanding when they say, I don't want to talk about this right now. You get me? And they don't want to give you the full details of what they're going through. They don't have to. Just take them and understand that she said she don't want to talk about it, so I'm going to leave her alone. She been through too much, you know? They get aggressive and they get offensive. And, you know, that's when it takes you as your own individual to understand that, hey, she said she don't want to talk about it. I'm going to revisit this. You want to talk tomorrow? Next week? Next year? Don't worry. I'm still going to be here for you. You know, you got to do that. And I do that a lot with my friends. My friends always tell me, like, you know, with the friends that, you know, I have in my life, they tell me all the time, like, I love how we don't talk every day, but we just click back up every time, and you just don't give me a hard time. And I'm like, don't give you a hard time. It's life. We all go through life, but it took me going through life to understand that. So I'm never biased on people who haven't really had such big stuff happen to them. I just take it as, all right, you don't really know. You know, you don't really know. And because you don't really know, I can't really fault you for that. But if I'm going to kick you to the curb, you got to go. Because now you just like, you try and be like, I'm telling you, hey, I'm going through a lot. And then the next day it's like, yeah, but I really need to get this off my... All right, you got you gotta go. You know, and I'm so big on my mental now that it's like the moment I start feeling heavy, I'll be like, I start itching. When I start itching a little bit, when you see me do this a little bit, I'm talking to you just like, she about to cut me. You know? When I go, I'm like, okay, you know, is it mosquitoes out here? And then you won't hear from me the next day, because it's like, you know what? I'm very big on protecting my mental, because it could easily get destroyed with the amount of trauma and just everything, because that's back to back.
Soy podcast.
And then within losing my mom in 18, my sister right after got admitted into a hospital where it was life-threatening. She had congestive heart failure. You know, and this is after me going to go get genetic testing. I'm like, let me do genetic testing and see if cancer run in my line. And that's pretty big too, to kind of touch on that topic, very minor, with people who have people within them, within their family, you know, passive cancer, survived cancer and stuff like that. Genetic testing. And don't get me wrong, they only test but a certain amount of strains, but it's still good to know. Now do your research, because when it comes to life insurance and you get genetic testing, certain people don't cover you no more. They'll not tell you that, and then something happened to a family member, you're like, where's my money? You know? I'm not saying go do genetic tests. I'm saying do your research first, and then consider genetic testing. And I considered it. And I'm the type of person, you're not gonna pass me a piece of paper and say, this is what this says, so sign it. No. Give me You got a second? Okay. And I'm like this. I don't even tend to go to Google. Google's my best friend. Google be telling me if I feel like I'm dying or not. I'm like, Google, what does it mean? No, but yeah, I did genetic testing and they told me, I'm good to go. But then I have a very cystic body, which that's in a lot of African American women. And that could be a topic for another time. But yeah, I have a very cystic body and I have PCOS. And with having PCOS, it's just it calls you to have a lot of cysts that could be mistaken as lumps, and lumps is what women are afraid of. So I had the hugest scare of my life where they're just like, it could be cancerous. You got to come back. We see something look a little bit cloudy, and I had them everywhere from my breast, my arm, and I'm like, what? My ovaries, and I'm like, Lord, please.
Yeah.
And I just cried and cried, but I knew, and I didn't want to go back for that appointment. But then I kind of thought of my mom and why she took so long, because my brother, and I think still to this day, he holds that grudge with her of the fact that we've been telling her to go to the doctor for years. And had she would have listened years back, we probably would have caught it when it was a lower stage and she would have still been here.
Gotcha.
So that's a tough cookie to swallow. That's a tough pill to swallow right now to this day, because it's like, dang, it took us finding out that my best friend cancer came back and leaving, and my brother was just like, absolutely not. He drove her straight into that hospital. He was like, we're going to a restaurant and get some food, get dressed, and drove her butt straight to the hospital. I said, that's what it took? So I got kind of offended, because I'm like, what were you doing as a child, daughter? Like, you could have told me we're going for some ice cream. Like, hell, burgers. We love burgers. We could have said, let's go. Girl, I'm going to get you that Big Mac that you always said you wanted, girl. Get in the car. But I didn't do that. And that still messed with me to this day, and it still messed with him to this day, because it's like, damn, we could have caught it,
Yeah. And
but,
real quick, before you go any further, I want to know how losing your mother affected the family dynamic. Because when we lost my baby sister, which she's the last one of the whole lineage, it brought us closer. Like on some, and I told you, like, arguments, we ain't even got time for it. Like we ain't got back and forth. I don't got time. I got to take it off my chest. We're gonna get it and let's move forward. So like, and usually like when you lose someone as a pillar like that, it biblically, I've seen it happen. I've seen it where Jesus was gone and went back home. Everyone was divided, and then everyone came back. But for us, it just made us just automatically connect. So was that, in a sense, for you, the same thing? Everyone got divided, came back, still kind of rocky, closer than ever? Like, what is the dynamic now?
When it happened, it brought us closer, because before she took her last breath, they had to, I always say the word wrong, but intubate her. There it is. And she couldn't talk. And I noticed that she kept trying to say something. So I'm like, paper, pen, somebody, now. And they got it, and I gave it to her, and she started writing. And I still have this paper to this day. I tend to keep a lot of papers. Y'all notice that? Write me a cute little saying. I'll keep it. Trust me. I'm that old granny later on in life that's going to pull out that box of dust. So you can be like, damn, how many people gave you? I take it as affirmation. I take it as memory.
Yes.
I do. So she wrote on the paper, and her first words was, am I dying? And, I was stuck. So I'm looking at her, and I'm like, you're doing fine. That's the only thing I could think to say, because it's like, oh, my God. Yeah. So then she wrote, I love you guys. And it was that line there that I realized that we got to figure something out, And she tried to write something else, but then that was the ending of it. And she started to flatline. And as she's flatlining, which is crazy, every time I kept crying and laying on her, it jumps back up.
Wow.
And I'm just crying, and she feels it. And I'm like, wow, this lady done fought 5 years past the time of her original expiration date that they gave her. And here you are. And it took my best friend that passed, her cousin was there, because we're very close. We've been with each other since diapers. So of course, the whole family. She's there, and she's just like, this is the moment you let her know that it's okay. It's okay to let go, because she's fighting for you. But you can't let her go through any more of this, you know? And I was like, no, I'm not saying it. And, you know, I'm crying, I'm devastated. And eventually I gave in to saying it. And she flatlined. And to know that that's all she wanted to hear, you know, because it's like, that's my baby. Like, I'm molding her, you know, everyone else is older. And it's like, dang, you know, I'm about to leave her, you know? That's all I kept thinking in my head. And, you know, it just took me back to that line when she said, I love you guys, that I just realized, like, we got to figure something out. Like, we can't keep doing this arguing, this fighting, and not getting along, because reality is, me and my mom, we didn't get along majority of my life, you know? So to now get closer, and then when she opened up to me and told me the reason why she's been so hard on me, because she just like, you know, it's just something about you. Like, I know you're going to be somebody. And she was just like, so I just had to be tough on you. That's the only way I knew. And I'm like, but why? I was out on the street. I was by myself, you know? But it's like, she never let me fall. That's one thing that she never did. But it did help, because it's like, I'm getting out of college. I'm like, all right, so had a full ride to Broward College. And I get the full ride, and then scholarship, you know? So money come back, I buy a car. Then after that, I get my own place, you know? And she's like, I'm gonna furnish your place. I'm so proud, you know? So certain important points of my life, she was there, but she turned her back for a reason, because it's like, if I keep babying you, how you gonna know how to live on your own? And you're doing it at a young age. So how you gonna learn that you need to go get about 3-4 jobs to go do like how I did, you know? So I'm out there with 3-4 jobs, and I'm going to school full time. And I'm like, Mama, it's okay. It's okay to tell me to stop now, you know? But she was just always like, you know, so difficult. And I just never understood. Like, she'll never show that she was fully proud. I done had 1,000,001 award ceremonies, and that's not even bragging. It's just that I always made sure that I over exceeded in school, because I didn't want her to have to touch anything. You know, it's free money out here. Let's just figure it out. It's not that someone is smarter than you. It's just that someone took the time to read in between them lines to learn it. You know, people always like, I'm not Albert Einstein. This side of my brain don't really work too well. And it's like, no, it's what you put into it and what you can get out of it, you know? So I always envied my family members, because it's like, dang, my sister here, she be an aspiring rapper, and you at her shows knowing every word. Tell me what grade I had last semester, Mama, right now. But I was so offended, and I just envied it, you know? So it's like, we all just never really got along, you know? And I always wanted that family reunion feel, that people go and they dress up, they get a shirt, something. We never had that. And I still to this day want that feeling, because you don't have it. So we just never had that bond. So as soon as, you know, with her passing, that same night, we realized, hey, all our stuff is in Alabama. All the pictures, all the stuff we got to do for the funeral, we got to make move, you know? So we all just said, forget it, forget work. We taking off. We call now. We don't care what we got to do. Sorry, AT&T. But we're just like, we got to go. So we all packed up. We get in the car, and it was the best car ride ever, because we were able to just talk about stuff. We were able to give our apologies. We were able to say, we're going to do this, you know? Now the task is keeping up with it. You can start off saying, because you're all grieving, you're just talking a whole bunch of crap at this moment, because you're vulnerable. That's just like in a relationship. You're just vulnerable. Like, man, baby, I love you so much. When you try to get out of a relationship, then the next day it's like, you know, well, I was drinking, I was in my feelings. I ain't really need that, you know? So we all vulnerable. We all just tired. We just saying anything, you know? So we didn't keep up with it. You know, we try to keep up with it now. Like, my sister called me this, and I ain't see you for a long time. I said, girl, my address ain't changed, and you got a copy of the key. So when you want to come see me, you can come see me, because Tarsha is tired of reaching out. Tarsha is tired, make sure everybody's okay. I can't do it no more. So that's what I've been doing lately. I've been focusing on myself. I've been losing a lot of people, been dropping like flies.
Relationship takes two, no matter
it takes
what type
two.
it is.
And,
So.
you know, a lot of people been reaching out to us like, hey, I noticed. Keep noticing. Okay, that's all I got to say to that. Have you noticed that I look clearer? My face look pure. You know, because you start worrying about yourself, because you'll fall apart. And even that goes for family too. Sometimes you gotta kind of, you know, but just let them know you always gonna be there. So to answer your question, it didn't work out for now, you know, but we just gotta each keep up on it. And you know, we have a group chat that every here and there we'll write. I work for AT&T. I can't even keep my phone out. So I barely read the stuff in there. So I called them like, hey, I seen that pictures was in there. What's it about? You know? So, but we're gonna work on it.
No, for
You know,
sure.
we gotta work on it because our family is everything. And I know
Yeah.
a lot of people say, "Oh, sometimes blood ain't really." Da, da, da.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but it's your family.
Yeah.
You know that blood does run in your body, whether you want to believe it or not. And yes, this blood ain't thicker than water.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? But your blood has been there your whole life, and that's the only person that really and truly know you.
Yes.
And I just feel like what a lot of people don't understand within the Black community is that we don't have each other back with our family like other people. You see Spanish people, they be about 40 years old living in a house full of kids and nieces and nephews. But guess what they do? As soon as they move out, they get their house, they build their empire, they keep their money in-house.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So I noticed that with a lot of Black communities, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't support each other mentally first.
Yeah.
You know, if you support somebody mentally, then physically y'all could accomplish a lot of things and build an empire. But we're too busy being against each other. You know, having fallouts about stuff that's not even worth
It's
it.
not even.
So
It's not.
yeah, we're not there, but we're gonna get there.
No, that's good.
By any means necessary.
Yep, that's good.
Soy Podcast.
That's good.
Mhm.
So, as you were talking, I've been learning a whole lot. And a lot
Let me
of
take a
things.
sip because I feel like with you, your name is already unique. So I feel like this question gonna get. Let me.
You good. No worries.
All right, go ahead.
But two things like that you guys touched on already.
Mhm.
The fact that sometimes when you have like certain people, friends or whatever, and you go through something hard, and then you want space, you ask for space or whatever, they can give you space, but it's almost I like that you said that some of your friends left notes or came back and kept saying, okay, whenever you're ready, because some people, what they tend to do is they respect what you say too much. Like, like it's like, oh yeah, you want space, I'm gonna give you space.
Yeah.
But sometimes you want space, but then you also need to check in. Like at least so the person can know, okay, they were checking and when they're ready, when you're ready, when I'm ready, when whoever's ready to talk, then they'll be like, all right, cool. Because sometimes people can be stuck in the outside zone, like where they got the space they needed and then they never reconnect because the people never reach back out or they never persisted on, hey, how's this, how's that. So now it's almost like the relationship gets fractured because you never reconnected. So I think through your talk you did answer it, but I just wanted to point it out, and you pointed it out too to people to say, hey, it's okay to reach out, it's okay to just say what you got to say, as long as the person's ready to come back in. They'll reach out or you'll reconnect again. So I just wanted to kind of say that I'm glad that some of your friends left notes, you kept the notes, that's awesome, because a lot of people like they ask for space but they don't know how to get back into the groove of things. And also to another thing you said, some people may have to go, like it's okay. Some people struggle with that. Like some stuff you go through will weed out certain people in your life. And I'll just encourage somebody, it's okay if certain people are not in your life anymore. That was the time they were supposed to be in your life for, and then from this point on you're gonna have other people, right? Everybody does, and it's okay. It's unfortunate sometimes, but it's life. It is what it is. So here's the question. As far as anniversaries,
before you do the question, I just want to add this, and it just came to me while you was talking. Through those dark times, that's also when the star shows up. Like,
exactly.
You never knew, like, oh shoot,
absolutely.
That was deep.
That star was bright over. So that was good. I like that. Okay.
Absolutely. And as you shared earlier too, like me and my wife, we recently went through something. We lost a child. We didn't expect to lose, and so it was crazy. Even till this day, me and her, we still gotta talk, we still gotta process together, we still have friends who reach out and do things like that. But we got to see, like you said, some stars, like people just went above and beyond in their own ways, which taught us that there's ways to be there for people that you didn't probably think about. I know a lot of times going through things like that will help you to understand, okay, I know how to be there for XYZ. But anyways, here's the question. As far as anniversaries, like you mentioned, like when those dates come around, what have you for yourself, or even if it's others, like put around you? Is it's either a circle or whatever it is that you've put around you so you don't go back completely to, because you mentioned it earlier, people can go back to that dark place, and obviously no one wants to go back. You mentioned it, you're like, I don't ever want to be in that place. But there's a lot of people, I'm sure, listening who are struggling, like going back. Like once that year, it's almost, it's coming. Like for me and my wife, we already know, we haven't hit anniversary yet, but we've already had talks. Like once that time comes around, it's like we don't even know.
Yeah.
Like we already talking about ahead. Like let's make sure we have this, that, and the other. Let's make sure we're doing things we enjoy. We're doing things we really love to kind of help us because you know we can just sink back into that place. Like what have you done? Whatever it is that you feel like has helped you, may not help somebody else, but at least they'll know. Let's try things to try to help us. Obviously, you want to remember the person. You also gonna remember memories, like like the times that it happened, how hard it was, and like you said, it could trap you mentally.
Great question. So you mentioned, just to touch on with that, literally after I have three things to touch on with that. The answer to your question is going to be the third one. The first one is after losing my mom, I was in a relationship. I was in a relationship throughout the process of my mom and going through it, and then I had a guy that I had a history with that I was dating, and with having PCOS, it's not a simple get pregnant for me. Okay, I have to go through a long journey. I know there's a lot of people are speaking out about it now, which is intense. But yes, so sometimes you just may possibly get a golden child and you may get pregnant, but you may not know that you're pregnant because it's not that easy for you, you know? So after losing my mom, the guy that I was dating at the time had found out that before we started reconnecting, he wind up conceiving with his baby mother again and didn't know she was pregnant. So he got the news that she was pregnant and then felt like I didn't deserve to go through that process and left. Within days, I'm home. I took off from work and I wake up in a pool of blood and I lose a child that I've been dying to have. Even to this day, I just can't wait till the Lord bless me. But it was the scariest thing. So it's like trauma, you know? I didn't know what to do. I know I called one of my best friends at the time and I was howling on the phone. Like I was screaming to the top of my lungs because it's like, my God, had I known and I wasn't so stressed out, but I wasn't paying attention to myself during the time. While I take care of my mom, I wound up driving myself into the emergency room because I'm like, something don't feel right. And my body was falling apart because I wasn't getting rest. I was working way in Doral, driving back here to give her massages, make sure she good. I'm giving her shot in the morning and night. And I was doing all of it, make sure she having things and researching what medicine they giving her because, you know, they tend to throw you whatever. And they give you medicine as stuff that you don't even have the issue with. They would give her medicine and say, okay, get this 2 times a day. And I'm reading. I was like, but she don't even have this problem. Why am I giving it to her? Oh, just in case just in case what?
Yeah.
Like, you want to lead her to it? You want to train her body to get to, like, no. So it was a lot. And, she was so mad at me. She was like, "You don't get the hell up out of here." I was like, "I got my mask on." You know, and she's like, "I could do it." And then sure enough, thank God I went there because when I went there, she had extra pills and certain things. I was like, "I thought you said you had it." She was like, "Well, you know, you're not doing too well." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." But that's the touch on that. And, you know, I recently again miscarried. So I understand that. So I just want to tell you, like, that's tough to even have to deal with and to say, because a lot of families that deal with it, they don't say it because they feel like, oh my God, I don't want nobody to know I lost a child. Like they're gonna think something's wrong. What's wrong with you? You know? And but it's big that you said that and okay with saying it. And as a man to say that, you know, because a lot of time with women they go through, but men don't really understand the truth behind it. Yeah, the depth behind it. Like, dang, like that must be hard for you. Like, I know I'm the guy, but dang, and you know, it affects guys too. So a lot of people when stuff like that happen, they tend to go to the mother and not go to the father because it's just like, oh, whatever, you just provided the sperm, whatever, you're not that important, you know. And it's like, still get it's like mentally that after still to this day. And I'm big on making sure, like, I'm big on speaking for the men and stuff like that because you guys are needed, and for you to kind of express that and say that was kind of big, so I really respect you for that. The second part I wanted to say when you said that checking up and stuff like that, I tend to say it's like a car. Every car needs its oil change. And the oil are your support, your family. You get me? Your family, your friends, and people that's there to support you. And you're the vehicle. And not all oil works for your car. You know? You're going to run that oil through your system. It's going to fuck up your engine. Yeah. And when you get that wrong support, that's really not your support. That's that oil that's not supposed to be going through your car. Okay? You know, I know y'all guys, y'all know about cars. You see what I did there? Okay. See, I cater to you guys. Okay. Not every oil is good, you know? that's what happened to me. You know, I had oil that just wasn't supposed to be in my car. You know, and my engine was just like, you know, it's like it's done. You know, this car is done. It's trying to, you know, you gotta get a new car now. You know, so that's just basically what it is. And it's like, it's not that certain people cannot be that premium oil for you. It's that they don't want to be. They don't want to do they're not really willing to do the work to be the right oil to run through your system. You get me? They tend to just kind of get offended, and it's like, you got to understand that I'm a vehicle. I need maintenance. You know, I've been through trauma. So you got to understand that I need you to be my regular maintenance. And even if I tell you I don't want you, guess what? If I don't get that oil change, what's going to happen to my vehicle? So I'm going to tell you, I don't, but that's that day how I'm feeling. That doesn't mean don't be aggressive the next day. I'm aggressive as a friend. When I notice that I see something, I'm like, oh, you just lost somebody? And I start blowing you up. I know you don't want to talk right now, but I just want to, I'm here. Can I take you out to eat tomorrow? Then I'm back at it again the next week. Hey, guess what? I paid for a reservation. You want to meet me there? You know, I'm that friend that I'm going to keep going. You know, even within my relationships, it's like, okay, well, you want to sit here in silence? Okay. Because I'm that type of person, I don't want you to say nothing to me. Just sit there. And I'll just, like when you said that your wife, she went and just hugged you. That's big for you to feel that because she did that and you understood what she was doing without words. You get me? A lot of people need words. I shouldn't have to walk you through how to handle me. You get me? It's kind of just like, you know, I've been through trauma, and I'm telling you, I don't want you to be here today, but I didn't say I didn't want you to be there tomorrow. You get me? I'm cutting you off for today, but I didn't say I didn't want you to be there for me tomorrow. You know? And a lot of people can't handle that. So when they see you kind of just like, you know, they tend to be like, all right, forget it, I give up. I don't want to do this no more. You know, it's like, you were that bad oil that I never needed for my car, you know? So it's like, I have premium support in my life that's here, that's genuine, you know? People that I really didn't expect it to be from. But it's been fueling my car, and I've been driving back and forth around every day. And I haven't shut down since. Knock on wood. But you just need that right support, that right oil to fuel your car. And, you know, sometimes you just won't know. And you just got to lose people down the line to realize it. But honestly, you got to protect yourself. And I'm very big on that. And it seems very, very selfish, but the right people will understand that. The wrong people won't.
Soy Podcast.
And I know we wrapping up real soon. First, I wanted to say this, like, being friends is more than just the whole in and out. Like, this, it's as much as we want to create the coolest handshake and you know, say the coolest phrase to a movie type thing, but being real friends takes real work. You know, and I always tell y'all, like, one of the things that helped me is I've watched anime like all my life. When you see them boys blood and tear, barely limping, and they just like last minute, I'm gonna protect. Like, it was a message in that, like, friendship takes that type of level of going in for your friend and standing in front of a bullet. Like, my best friend, man, let something happen to me, he's snapping. Like, and he's not even that type of guy.
I'm that
but
friend.
Literally, like, the nicest guy would let you go first, whatever. Like, we play basketball, one guy bumped me, like, you straight? Hey, yo, let me talk to you. And then, like, his whole demeanor changed. So, like, I want to tell people, that's like, so being friends really take work. And unless you have those friends, and friends is not just, you don't just hang out, you got to watch them. And you got to watch through learning. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I learned my wife. Like, I watch her through learning. Someone had asked me on the live I was on, do your conversation evolve? I said, yeah, because now I'm at a state of I listen more and I watch more. Because now I could tell certain things by just looking at her. Now she don't have to say these things anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though they say words is important too, but there's moments like action should be enough. Like, if she turned that left a little too hard, I'm like, all right, well, let's talk.
That's learning. That's learning, because you know, you're like, you struck that shoulder a little bit, and I'm like,
exactly. But I want to end it with this note to help the viewers who either going through it after the fact or at the beginning of it. What would you say you've learned and will be the tips that it may not be the gospel itself that help, but can probably, like I tell you, spark up a blueprint of what can help them? Would you say from experience, and I mean, you experienced from too close from home, friend from diaper, and your mom. So going through all that, and then also in the midst of your own thing, what would you say to them how to handle the situation and handle themselves? because it's quick to say giving an answer to help with the situation, but also what you showing me as you going through this, that you kind of lost yourself in the situation, which I've learned through you. It's like, even though there's a situation, I need to make sure I'm anchored and still help a situation at the same time. So what would you say to help that person at this moment? Like I said, who's going through it, or in the beginning of it, or had the aftermath of it all? What would be your tips that you learned, or badge of honor you gained through this?
Yes. So I'm gonna do outer and then inner.
Okay.
So for outer, it's crazy that you said that. I'm like, how you know? Did he read? Was he saying that reading my note? I'm looking at your eyes like, what kind of vision you got over there?
Too much.
Oh, so for the outer and to touch last on support before just individuals that really go through it. Never judge. Before you judge that person, ask that person, how are you? How are you okay? And how can I support you? And that's why I tell you all the time with your business, your wife's business, when you said she felt like people feel like giving up. They go through stuff. It's support. I did notice that a lot of people, we go to social media and we always say support Black businesses. And they also do that because they have a Black business. You get me?
Yeah.
That's how the world works. They feed off what's going to make them money and what's going to make them look good to make that money. But it's not genuine. So I always want to say for people who's around that person that's going through it is to support, but don't just support and make sure that it's genuine. You could support somebody, but you won't be genuine. A lot of people will be like, oh, I brought this from this Black business because, it's Black business, support Black business Sunday, and it's because you have a company. So it's benefiting you. It makes your face look good. But are you genuinely doing that to support that person that needs your support? So I always say, don't just support genuinely. Because if it's not genuine, then it's going to fall short eventually. And then that person's going to realize, damn, you really wasn't here to support me. And then that takes an even worse impact on that person that has already been through stuff. Now they got to take you as somebody that they've been through.
Bars.
But for individuals that's going through it, what I have to say is, do what you feel is what's best for you and don't doubt yourself. If you tell yourself, I don't want to do this right now, and that person is coming at you like, no, we got to do this because it done prolonged for this long. It's okay for you to say, I said we're not going to do this right now. Protect yourself by all means, because at the end of the day, no one can protect you more than you can protect yourself. And that's just reality. No one's going to know what your trigger points are. They may know from learning you, but you internally, your trigger point could have been wine. And then next week it's tequila, So they're never going to know you fully like you know yourself.
True.
So listen to those voices in your head that says, hey, I'm exhausted, and be exhausted. I take a lot of time, and that's what I love about living on my own, is that I take a lot of time to meditate, or I'll just close my eyes. And one thing that has helped me, that has helped somebody else recently, was I told them, like, I go in the shower, I'll run the water, make sure everything is turned off, it's dark. You just light some candles, play some meditation music, and just scream.
Oh.
Just cry and just scream. And I guarantee you, the moment you get out that shower, you're going to walk out like, all right, I'm about to go do something. What, I had to order for my company again? Because I'm ready, And they did that, and they were just like, wow, like I felt better. And I did that one time when I realized that I just shut my company down for like the 15 millionth time, which we talked about. And I'm trying to open it back up, and I'm like, if I open it back up, this got to be the last time. But I noticed that I felt down, and I was like, man, F this company. And I went in the shower and I just screamed. I let everything out, and I kind of allowed myself to think of all memories of my best friend and all memories of my mom, because that's what's holding me back. The hurt, when reality is we had a lot of great times. And if you think about that a little bit more, you will smile more than you cry. You get me? Or if you do tend to cry, it's just like, hey, I miss her, man. It's beautiful, you know? So just take time for yourself mentally, physically. Care for yourself first. Protect your mental, your brain, and you'll be great. And start doing things that make you happy. Like, find something. I paint, and I be happy as hell when I move that brush. Like, woo, today's a great day, So, and laugh, laugh more, talk to people and let it out, because it wasn't until me opening up that I started feeling better. When I didn't open up and everything was just here, I'm just like, I feel heavy. Oh my gosh. And then going to the doctor, like, yeah, knots. Well, yeah, I got knots. You know what I'm keeping on my shoulder? So just let it out. Just release, and just, you'll know. Just pay close attention to people. Don't use your mouth. Just use your eyes. And I promise you, the Lord will always show you who's that premium oil. And who's that oil that's gonna shut down your whole car? So that's just my only advice. And I'm always someone to talk to. I always let myself out. Hey, DM me. I even give you my number, or WhatsApp me. Let's talk. I'm no therapist, but I've been through it, and sometimes it's so much easier to talk to somebody that's been through it, because whatever advice they give you is genuine. It's coming from someone that knows. You're gonna say, oh my gosh, I remember the tumor, this, and it's like, oh my gosh, you had that experience, me too. And then it's like, whew, one wall just came down. Let's talk more. And then all walls come down, because you're like, dang, you genuinely know what I'm going through, and you genuinely care, And sometimes don't fault the people that's trying to be there and that's asking you questions, and you're annoyed on telling them how to deal with you. Those are the ones that you need to gravitate to, because they're trying to learn you. So allow them. Don't have them ask questions like, oh my God, this person get on my nerve, they're asking me a question. I don't want to tell you about what my day. They're asking because they care. The ones that's not asking is the ones that you need to worry about. So that, and just, people that's supporting you, know those important dates. My ex, he didn't know those significant dates. So he would choose that day to get on my nerves, and I would scream to the top of my lungs like, you don't get the hell up out of here right now, because you don't know what today is. So it's important that you know these days, because if you don't know those days and remember it for that person, they're going to then again feel like nobody is there. And that's the worst feeling. When I went through the anniversary of my best friend, I noticed that people didn't really reach out. Like, hey, I know today. And, a lot of times when people don't really care, they don't know, So just, you have to let that person know. Talk to them like, hey, I go through a lot. This day, this happened to me. This day, this happened to me. These are the days of the year that I just cannot mess with. And it's that duty for that person to remember that. If they care, they're going to remember. Because if you can remember my birthday, or you can remember if you dating a guy, you can remember the first time we did whatever, you can remember these important dates in my life, if you care. So it's important to know those days and just reach out to that person. They're going to post about it. I post about it all the time. So it's always nice to hear someone say, I know what today is. You okay? And then it's like,
that was really good, actually, because I've never heard that as an advice or a tip to, like, know the dates and remember those dates, especially for that. That's really good. That was good. I definitely enjoyed this. I definitely learned a lot.
This was great.
Like, as you were talking, I'm not gonna lie. As you was talking, I just felt like you got brighter. Like, literally, the light aura around you just kept getting brighter, because I just see, like, first of all, the strength that you said to say, hey, you know what, I'm not okay, first of all. But also, as you were just opening up more, it just felt like you just glowing more. And it just kept showing me like, man, this diamond went through a lot, what I'm saying, to become a diamond. So it's just like, and it takes a lot, like, it literally takes the earth pressure to make diamonds. So it's like, you went through all this while in the midst of something else. And I'm just sitting here like, that's my homie. Like, wow. And that smile never changed, but it's like, you don't know what's behind someone's smile. So I'm just sitting here impressed, in awe, and just like, wow, and just like, whew, myself.
I did that ugly cry in the shower before I got here, because I was like, I'm not going to be in front of these people crying. No, you not. So I was like, you know what, let's go take another shower. So I got a shower, and I was like, I played my music. I said, let it out. Let it out. So when I came in here, I'm like, okay, cool, this is going to be great.
Nah, and I know this is going to help a lot of people for sure. That's our goal. That's our mantra. I feel like you even helped me in the midst of it, just to learn how to be a better person. And because you never stop learning.
You never stop learning.
And, to come out now on this table, I was just sitting here like, what? I thought that was like probably season 3 of dropping, so I just felt this platform, this moment just laid that comfortability and safe space for sure. And that's our goal all the time, to make it a safe space.
And I will say that, I felt comfortable from when I walked in the door.
That's dope.
So I will say I appreciate you guys for that, because I'm making jokes and it's like, are they taking on to my jokes? Are they laughing? No? Okay, we're a little uptight. Okay, this is not the place. But you guys make me feel so comfortable. So I was like, and then knowing you for so long and smelling, it's like, I just love you guys, So it's like, when you ask me, I was like, you don't even gotta ask me. Just say, hey, Tarsha, I need you to be available this day, this time. And I'm like, well, my schedule, I am there. But and I know whoever you consider family and you do business with, I know that they could be considered family. So this was great. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I need to speak on it.
Yeah.
Hey, so I need to soy.
Yeah,
hey, bet. Did that. So I was ready. And I was just like, you know what? Cool. You know, anything to help anyone. Yeah. I'm just all for it. Yeah. So
you thought we were done?
So we about to get to the best part of the segment. Even though as much as we love the dialogue and conversation and information, we like to lighten the mode after the end of the day, you know, leave you on a light note. I'm gonna let Maestro go ahead and just go in depth on how it goes.
Every time I hear Maestro, I just feel like a beat about to drop.
Oh yeah, like,
every time you say it, I'm like,
hey, we'll think about it for season 3.
Maestro, it's like, oh, hey, you start making beat drops, y'all got to bring me back because okay, I said it, so I deserve to be part of it. All right, just call me on FaceTime, put me on the camera, like here she go, and I'm like. I'm be in my vehicle that's still moving because I got good oil.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So this is the game that we have 5 questions that we're gonna ask. You get to choose out of the host. If you want to challenge me or Blessed. Once you pick that person, then we'll go into, you know, I'll ask or he'll ask the question. Advice we got is think outside the box.
Think outside.
How you cue in if you hear the question from either me or Blessed is say your name. That means you're gonna answer. So once you say your name, you give your answer, you're right. Boom, we move on to the next one. If you're wrong, next person tries it. About 3 tries.
Lord.
Yeah. These questions.
Y'all have been out of school for a while.
It got nothing to do with nothing.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
It's really we don't even know what's coming. So now you get to choose. Out of me or Blessed, who you would love to challenge and go up against. And
go up against.
Yeah, go up against that person.
Out of us too.
You know what? I'm not gonna go against my dog. Okay, so I want to go up against you.
Let's go.
Because you challenged me with your name.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we ain't finished yet.
Let's go.
So, Ori, let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Before we go in, I got to shout out I'm about to say Marsha. What? I'm thinking about myself. Tarsha.
I thought one of y'all was going to do it.
Shout out Tarsha. She is working on a book. We gotta let her know. She has a page. I'm rooting for her to revive soon called Daddy Says I'm Beautiful. It is a beautiful page. It's advocate of fathers and their daughters' lives, which is an amazing thing. I think the world does need to see because it's been a long negative connotation towards that, and to have a page that advocate the opposite. I'm always against stigma, so I love that she's breaking the mold with that. She has other things too, a clothing line, Mo Lavish, which she also can help us with merch on that aspect too. Me and her sister co-signed and agreed she needs to go back to school and finish the medical. But she's, fighting us both. So let's root for that. We need a surgeon, especially a black one.
Here.
And if I'm missing anything,
no, you hit everything on the head.
Okay, so look out for the book when it comes out. It's real soon. So it's I told her I can't wait to have it in the household. Yes. And the same thing, Daddy Says I'm Beautiful, right? The title of the book. Yeah. So great book. So let's get the question. Let's get it started.
Let's go.
Again, none of us know the question. Only one person knows, Clutch, and he sends it to us at the end of the segment.
Clutch. What the?
Yeah.
Maestro.
Yeah.
Clutch.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Don't forget Ninja. That's why he quiet in the
Ninja.
Ninja Mark.
Ninja. I need. Let me figure out a name real quick.
All right. Question number 1. And you don't have to wait on nobody. If you figure it out or you said the answer wrong and it's like it came to you right now, go ahead, say your name again and you just go. There's no turn you can turn. You savage out here. How can you drop a raw egg onto a concrete floor without cracking it?
All right, don't be happy out here looking stupid.
We both look at the
type of question. Trust me, no one knows.
Both look at the sure. Just give whatever you feel like is there. Actually, again, how can you drop it?
How can you drop a raw egg onto a concrete floor without cracking it?
Maestro. Maestro. The egg can't crack the floor.
Good job.
All right.
The egg won't crack the floor. How can you drop a raw egg onto a concrete floor without cracking it? So the floor, how can you crack the floor? Yeah.
We're talking about the floor,
you
not
know
the
what?
egg.
Yeah.
I
had to
told
think
y'all I've
about
been
it a
out
little
of school for a
bit.
while. Like, my brain is operated.
No, I'll just. It's kind of early on to say it, but we've been through it a lot.
So
our mind is
different.
wired
our mind
different.
Is, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
almost unfair now.
He's like, you know what? Let me think outside the box because
I told you, I tried to tell
you
you in the beginning, but people
like
don't get it till the first
clue
question.
in
Yeah,
the
I'm like, huh?
sentence,
Till the
and
first
then you
question
gotta
gets
think
asked, be
outside
like
the box.
outside the box, and
Yeah.
then you hear the answer, be like, oh yeah, that was outside the box.
you know where I'm at. I'm in the box.
Yeah. You
like,
logically thinking this whole thing.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hey.
We had a what is it, biomedical?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
He was thinking
like,
medical
He
answers.
said
all wrong.
cataracts. And it was like, bro, it's not that deep.
bro.
Oh,
Don't go medical
I would have
with
been
it.
like, wow, you're
Nah.
in the hospital.
Right?
Mhm.
You're nowhere near the box.
So the second question:
Okay.
What has a head, a tail, but does not have a body?
Wow, someone asked me this question recently, and I can't remember. It was a customer that just kept telling jokes on my line. Now I'm mad.
Oh snap!
It's a thing. That's the clue.
Like a thing?
Yeah. Oh my God. What has a head and a tail?
Hey Siri.
No.
No.
All right, Google everything. What's
It does
this?
not have a body.
Oh,
That
man.
was good.
A head, a tail, and no body.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a coin.
Good job.
Ah.
Good job.
Good.
Good job.
Good.
I'm like, dang, this customer will be so proud of me right now.
That's what's up.
Okay. Question number 3. Which room has no walls?
Sorry.
Oh, let me say it again because I said it plural. Which room has no walls?
That's it?
Yeah. Which room has no walls?
You know,
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, say what you gotta say.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like when you said it, it just
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
it's inappropriate. This is a family show.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes, it is a
I'm
film.
like, wait.
That's last episode too.
Right.
Like-
Every time it's like somebody like, can I say? No.
Yeah, he's like, wait,
Oh
no.
man, which room has no wall?
Yeah. That's too much.
wait,
I'm
what
trying to
is it
think of a
again?
clue now. Which room has no walls? This is a item you can get from a grocery store.
Wait.
Like, does that even help?
Huh?
Which room has no walls?
I'll say a broom.
Ooh, so you're on. It's not it.
Okay.
But you're working.
I was just
with it.
thinking, yeah.
You're working with it.
Oh, you're nice.
Yeah.
You're so wrong, but
you're working.
Yeah.
with
we're getting
it.
there.
You're working.
You gotta
with
throw
it.
some crazy
So,
ones out there.
Think of broom, but it's in a grocery store. But it's how do you spell broom? And then think of another word that has the same similar 4 words.
Bathroom?
4 letters.
I said bathroom, but
Okay,
no.
that's wrong too.
Yeah.
But that's the part we're working with. Which room has no walls?
I mean,
You can see it in the morning. This is a big clue, but you can see it in the morning come out the grass.
What, worms?
No.
Oh, I'm like, you can't get that in the grocery store. That was stupid.
Yeah, the grass
water?
in your lawn. You can see it in the morning come out your grass in the lawn. I remember especially when I was like, I'll kick them off and they'll come right back next day. But yeah, you can see it in the morning grow in the grass. Which room has...
you got it?
Mushroom.
There you go.
You got it. There you go. All right. Let's go.
I'm like, kick it out the grass. And I'm like, why I hate mushrooms in the grass.
2-1.
Number 4. Before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the tallest mountain on Earth?
Please make a meme out of that face. All right, y'all right? Please make a meme.
I be telling him.
That
Maestro.
Yeah.
Mount Everest.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
2-2.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My faces. Be
No,
killing.
that listen.
I'm like, what?
Question number 5. Tiebreaker going down now.
I was like, that can't be the beat for his name. But that
we're not using that one.
How many bricks does it take to complete a building made of bricks?
None. Because nope, wrong. Okay.
Just start off. You already wrong.
Okay.
He's like, I'm not even gonna make you fully explain yourself right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna save you.
No,
how many
good.
bricks does it take to complete a building made of brick?
Oh,
1.
It's in your thing. You got it.
Yeah.
I just got it when you said it just now. Like, okay.
Yeah. So tiebreaker, Tarsha.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. This was a great episode.
That was
I took
awesome.
you out. I took you out.
Killed it.
Surprisingly,
Was that my initiation?
Yeah.
Thank you. So what's gonna be my name?
We gotta work on it.
Yeah.
Right now it's
Okay.
but we're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Right
I
now
need
it's
something.
homie.
Don't have all the cool names, and y'all come back like, well, since you said oil runs the car, so
Hey.
you premium oil? No.
Premium.
The mechanic? No, I'm sorry.
We can do
Oh, the
premium.
mechanic.
Premium.
We can work. We'll figure
We'll
it out.
figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold y'all to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, when you release everything, just make sure my name is in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Like
it will
Tarsha,
be.
aka.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will be.
Let the people know where they can reach you if they want to reach you, especially when the book comes out. You know.
Yes.
So go ahead and let them know with IG or Facebook or email or whatever.
Yes. So I was listening to Biggie when I made this. But my Instagram name is Sicker Than Your Average, but it's SICKAH _than THAN _ UR. I was out of school for a while, y'all. _average, but it's abbreviated, so it's AVG. That's my personal. I have Mo Lavish, the company. That's the clothing and the hat. But that's the house of everything. So the book, my artwork, my clothing, my hats. And that's Mo Lavish, MOLAVISHTHECOMPANY, Mo Lavish, the company. And then I have a page, Daddy Says I'm Beautiful, which is DADDYSAYSIMBEAUTIFUL. And if you are wonderful fathers and you have beautiful baby girls, all babies are beautiful, by the way, please just DM me. I would love to have you guys on there with me bringing everything back. But yes, those are all my platforms. If you find one, you'll find the others. It's okay.
Dope.
Awesome.
That's
Good.
it.
That's awesome. Man, that's a wrap for the episode, man. That's a wrap. It was an awesome episode.
Yeah, this was
Thank you
great.
So much for coming through.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes.
This is awesome. We're family, though.
Yeah. It's a wrap, man. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on this. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my pen. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't meme on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Let's speak on it. Speak on it. You thought we were done? Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean on it.